We live in a world that worships technology. Every new gadget, every algorithm, every app promises to improve our lives, make us faster, more efficient, more connected. But what if our obsession with technological solutions is actually creating new problems even as it attempts to solve old ones? What if this never-ending pursuit of efficiency is eroding something deeply precious within us? Jacques Ellul, a French philosopher, spent his life wrestling with these questions. He didn't hate machines as such, but he was deeply suspicious of what he called technique, the mindset that sees everything in life, including human beings, as problems to be solved with the right technological tools. And he dared to warn us that when efficiency becomes our ultimate value, we might lose something far more important: our freedom, our individuality, our very humanity. Ellul wasn't some nostalgic crank pining for horse-drawn carriages. He warned that these technological systems, once unleashed, have an internal logic of their own. They start dictating how we live, work, and even how we think, often in ways we barely notice. Are we truly in charge of the technological marvels we've created? Or, as Ellul feared, have we become servants to their relentless drive for efficiency? When we hear technology, we typically imagine the obvious culprits: smartphones buzzing in our pockets, algorithms invisibly collecting our data, assembly lines churning out identical products. But Jacques Ellul wanted us to look deeper. For him, technique wasn't simply a collection of inventions. It was a mindset, a way of viewing the entire world through the narrow lens of efficiency. Ellul argues that technique is an obsession with the most efficient, rationalized way to achieve any goal. It's the relentless pursuit of the one best method, the perfect system, a philosophy that can be applied not just to factories or transportation systems, but to every aspect of life. This sounds good on the surface, even necessary. After all, who wouldn't want to find the most efficient way to complete a task or solve a problem? But Ellul saw something sinister lurking within this seemingly benign drive. Technique, for him, doesn't just help us do things more efficiently. It starts transforming how we think about everything. It's when we start seeing the world in terms of problems to be optimized rather than experiences to be savored. Our workplaces become machines to be fine-tuned for maximum output rather than communities where collaboration and creativity can flourish. Our bodies are reduced to biological machines in need of constant monitoring and optimization, neglecting the richness of our physical experience. Even our political debates devolve into sterile calculations of which slogan will maximize votes, with little room for genuine discussion of complex issues. This mindset is what genuinely scared Ellul, because once technique becomes the lens through which we view the world, everything is reduced to a problem awaiting a technological solution: productivity issues at work, health concerns, even social or political unrest. And as more and more aspects of life fall under the sway of technique, we lose sight of other values that don't easily fit into the spreadsheets of efficiency. Tradition, the wisdom gleaned from past experiences, the messiness and spontaneity of creativity, the irreplaceable value of human connection, and the simple but profound truth that being human is about more than just being efficient. It's a chilling idea, but does it hold true? If technique is our master, what does it make us? Ellul paints a disturbing picture: increasingly interchangeable human beings molded to fit seamlessly into vast technological systems. If Ellul is right, and technique, the drive for efficiency, becomes our dominant way of thinking, then we as individuals start to look more like replaceable cogs in a vast machine. Picture the idealized worker in this system: punctual, predictable, following procedures to the letter, and easily swapped out for another person who can fulfill the same function just as well. This might maximize corporate profits, but at what cost to the individual human being? For Ellul, the drive towards efficiency erodes our sense of uniqueness. Skills passed down through generations, honed through years of practice and embodying years of tacit knowledge, are replaced by standardized training programs designed for maximum productivity in the shortest amount of time. Work becomes a series of pre-programmed tasks, stripping away any opportunity for personal flair or the satisfaction that comes from a job well done. We become defined more by the metrics that quantify our output, our quantifiable contributions to the system, than by the complex, evolving person that exists beyond those numbers. This emphasis on efficiency, Ellul warns, risks squeezing out anything that makes us irreplaceable, anything that speaks to the unique ways we each approach the world and contribute to it. What about our choices? Technology often creates an illusion of freedom, offering us endless streaming services, 100 varieties of toothpaste, and the ability to shop online 24/7. Ellul would scoff at this superficial notion of freedom. He believed that true freedom lies in the ability to step outside efficiency-driven systems altogether, to define our own values, to chart our own course, and to pursue a way of life that isn't solely focused on maximizing productivity. He argued that this kind of freedom gets harder the more technologically complex our society becomes. Technology doesn't just provide us with a wider array of prefabricated choices. It subtly narrows our capacity to make meaningful choices outside the boundaries of pre-programmed options. Algorithms suggest what we watch, what we buy, and who we connect with online, all based on past behavior and predicted preferences. This creates a feedback loop that reinforces existing patterns and discourages us from venturing outside our comfort zones, from exploring new ideas, or from forging our own path. This dehumanizing potential of technique is what truly disturbed Ellul. He didn't hate machines, but he feared that by prioritizing efficiency above all else, we lose sight of what it means to be human. In a world where everything, including ourselves, is valued primarily for its usefulness in a vast technological system, what room is left for spontaneity, creativity, the messy but rewarding process of trial and error, the development of individual quirks that make us unique, or the simple but profound joy of just being alive, rather than constantly doing or producing something? It's a bleak picture, and we might find it hard to fully agree with Ellul's assessment. Don't many technological advancements also offer us new freedoms and possibilities? However, there's one more disturbing aspect of Ellul's critique that we must confront. Could technology become a tool not just of dehumanization, but of totalitarianism? Jacques Ellul wasn't just concerned about technology making us less human. He was deeply worried about its potential to erode the very foundations of free societies. Here's why. As societies become more technologically complex, it becomes impossible for the average person to understand, much less control, the vast systems governing their lives. Think of the sprawling infrastructure keeping the lights on, the algorithms shaping the information we see, the global supply chains that bring goods to our doorsteps. Their workings are opaque to most of us. We rely on a relatively small group of experts and technicians to manage them. When people feel dependent on systems they don't fully grasp, it breeds power imbalances. Ellul believed these complex technological systems inevitably require some form of centralized control, and that this centralization creates fertile ground for authoritarianism. He saw technology as the perfect tool for would-be tyrants. Imagine a government with vast computing power at its disposal, able to collect and analyze massive amounts of data on its citizens. This isn't just about old-fashioned surveillance. It's about wielding algorithms to predict and manipulate our behavior on a vast scale. In such a world, traditional ideas of political opposition become almost impossible. When even the most minute aspects of our lived experience can be monitored and shaped by those with access to these powerful tools, true dissent becomes incredibly difficult. Ellul warns that a technologically sophisticated state might not even need overt violence to maintain its control. But his warning goes even deeper. Ellul believed that technology doesn't just provide the means of oppression. It actively shapes our psychology in ways that make us more susceptible to control. When we're conditioned to expect instantaneous answers, when complexity is masked behind user-friendly interfaces, when every aspect of our lives seems quantifiable and optimized, we slowly become accustomed to the idea that a small cadre of experts should dictate things from on high. We lose touch with the kind of self-reliance and independent critical thinking necessary to challenge centralized power. Ellul forces us to ask, does technology truly empower the individual, or does it create a highly efficient system where dissent becomes almost unthinkable? When we applaud the predictive power of algorithms shaping our social media feeds, are we applauding a convenient service, Or are we also slowly surrendering our capacity to be surprised, to broaden our horizons, to be exposed to ideas that challenge us, to encounter something truly novel? It's a chilling notion. Ellul wasn't a conspiracy theorist, and his anxieties are easy to dismiss as an exaggeration. But given the vast amount of power centralized in the hands of tech giants and governments in the 21st century, are his warnings still worth pondering? Jacques Ellul wasn't writing with smartphones and social media in mind. Yet, his warnings about technology's totalitarian potential and its ability to dehumanize seem eerily prescient. We see examples almost daily that lend credibility to his concerns. The power of algorithms to filter and shape the information we see, fueling polarization and eroding shared reality. The erosion of privacy as both governments and corporations collect and analyze vast amounts of data on citizens. The use of predictive analytics to target advertising, potentially manipulating purchasing decisions or even political leanings. The rise of AI-powered chatbots designed to mimic human interaction, blurring the line between the real and the artificial. Does this mean Ellul was right, that we're doomed to become subservient to our technological creations? Not necessarily. Technology itself is neutral, neither inherently good nor inherently evil. However, his core message, that an unchecked obsession with efficiency and technological solutions can threaten human values, stands as a stark warning. It's a warning that becomes more urgent, not less, as technology continues its relentless advance. Perhaps Ellul's most valuable contribution lies in the questions he forces us to confront. Are we willing to accept a world where our every move, our every preference is tracked and analyzed for the sake of convenience? Are we willing to surrender our capacity for critical thought and self-determination in exchange for the promise of a technologically optimized life? How do we balance the undeniable benefits of technology with the preservation of individual freedom in an age where our digital traces reveal more about us than we often consciously understand? Ellul doesn't offer easy solutions. There might not be any. His philosophy can feel overwhelmingly bleak, but his pessimism serves a purpose. It's a forceful reminder that technological progress doesn't equate to human progress. Ellul challenges us to remain vigilant, to consciously choose which technologies we embrace and how they are used. His work forces us to examine our relationship with technology with open eyes, recognizing that these tools, however dazzling, might have hidden costs when it comes to our individual freedom and the very essence of what it means to be human in a world of our own making. Jacques Ellul wasn't a technophobe. He didn't want us to abandon our smartphones or live off the grid. His critique is far more potent because it forces us to look deeper. He saw technology not just as a collection of tools, but as a mindset, one that prioritizes efficiency and rationalization above all else. He warned that this obsessive drive could dehumanize us, eroding our freedom, and even pave the way for new forms of totalitarian control. Ellul's warnings might seem bleak or even exaggerated, but in a world increasingly driven by data collection, algorithms, and the ever-expanding reach of technological systems, his ideas are more relevant than ever. They demand that we look beyond the flashy surfaces of new technologies and consider the kind of society we're helping to create. Are we building a world where technology serves human flourishing, or one where we become mere components within its vast, impersonal systems? Ellul's philosophy offers no easy answers, but it serves as a vital call to consciousness. It urges us to think critically about our relationship with technology, to recognize its benefits while remaining wary of its potential to reshape our values and our understanding of what it means to be truly human. Thank you for listening. If Ellul's ideas intrigued you or alarmed you, continue this discussion. Read his writings with a critical eye, and most importantly, consider how his ideas speak to your own experiences with technology. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you share Ellul's concerns? What examples would support his critiques today? Like and share this video to keep the conversation flowing.